Hi everyone, Happy New Year! Welcome back to the LORNA Experience podcast. I am your host Tasha and I'm the founder of LORNA Media, and welcome to 2024. Oh my goodness, I'm super excited. So the last episode you would have heard was my interview with Emily, which we recorded in the beginning of December, to be honest, and that was talking about our strategies for 2024. But this is my official 2024 podcast video, so I'm really excited to get this going. So much has happened. Oh my goodness, so much has happened, and I can't wait to tell you about all my staying relevant in business and marketing. And then there's a topic of conversation today which I really want to get into. So first of all, I want to say thank you. If you follow me on, if you follow the LORNA Experience podcast on Instagram and you follow my profile on LinkedIn, you would have realized that we had a few statistics come up with the podcast. So my shout out is to our listeners, of course, and it's really exciting because before I wanted to end 2023 with reaching 100 views on RSS feed, which really distributes to Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Deezer, all those good stuff. And basically we've reached, so we're on 105 now, but when I did the statistics, it was 104 downloads on RSS. And this is the demographics was UK, USA, France, and we had a new one, Kenya. Like, how cool. So welcome to everybody that's listening or watching, and I'm just super grateful to have you here. We also not only reached those countries, we also reached 192 views on YouTube, and that demographic is UK, Ireland, I love Ireland, and USA. And our top listens were episode 4, actually part 1 and part 2 with Paula, which was mental health whilst job searching, and then the Masters in Strategic and Digital Marketing review, which is really cool. And that was all in 3 months. So we managed to keep it to a bi-weekly podcast. The upload schedule wasn't the best last year, but solo engineering this, so I think we can like snaps to showing up and winning for the week. Oh yes, so snaps for winning and showing up for 2023, and let's show up for 2024. I hope everybody had such a good Christmas, and I know that this is basically going to come out mid-January. My life is pretty full on, everybody. Like, I'm not gonna lie, before I was like, oh my goodness, I wish I could do this as a weekly podcast, but I really can't because of my schedule, and until I get a team, I really can't do it. A lot has happened between our last conversation of me doing a solo podcast, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss being just us. So first of all, you can see I'm got a different setup. Today, I'm keeping it super casual. I bought this, it's an Everblast hoodie. Sports Direct had like a sale, a shop closing down sale, which is pretty cool. Super comfortable, and I really want to be comfortable in work right now because my schedule, like Tasha 3 months ago, totally sorted out for present Tasha. Basically, we in a new setup because I am in a co-working space, and my previous setup was in the public area, and it just seemed to be not working with the flow and the vibe of everybody because we kept on getting disturbed when I had guests. I just thought to myself, it's better that we come into a private room with the white background. It actually brightens me up a bit more, which is pretty cool. It's still on brand colors, which is great. I was actually looking at podcast design sets and things like that, so that's definitely something I want to invest in. But because when you have props and things like that, you really need to make sure you got storage. So there's just a lot of logistics to sort out. But for now, this is pretty cool. What have I been doing to stay relevant? So if we go back, I am so excited to tell you everything that's happened, honestly. If you're tuning in Now, please take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I really, really want to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. So if you like what you're hearing so far and you really enjoy the Lorna experience, please do support us by following our social media. This is a bi-weekly podcast for entrepreneurs and digital marketers who can relate. So we're going to go into how I've been staying relevant. Episode 5 was the last time we had a one-to-one, okay? So episode 5, if you don't remember, I landed up saying that I was going to be going to the 2023 Wrapped Up event. Now, I'm going to do a full YouTube video about the actual event and what was wrapped up for last year on my YouTube channel called Lorna Media. But remember when I said the CEO from WCS agency is going to be there and I hopefully can meet her? Well, her name's Chelsea and I totally did, and her team. So shout out to the WCS agency in Cardiff. They were so lovely and so warming, and I actually went there alone. And Tramshed Tech co-working space is it's very different, okay? I'm not gonna lie, like, because I don't work there, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know what it is about that co-working space, but I get very nervous when I walk in, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I went straight for the glass of wine. I was like, okay, let's just like chill out a bit, which is hilarious. Before I was kind of like, I don't know what to do with myself. I actually vlogged about this. It was so funny. And then I sat down in the front, and then I got up I was just weird, okay? Sometimes I can get very weird. To be honest with you, I'm very introverted, okay? I might come across as extroverted and very bubbly and all this good stuff, but I can get shy as well, So I recognize the woman that works at the agency because obviously I follow them on LinkedIn and I've been following them for a while. Let's put it that way. They've definitely been on my radar of when I wanted to meet them because they are an agency. What I admire about the WCS agency is because they are disruptors. They are disruptors in the industry. We need them. I know that they are very, like, a lot of what they do is TikTok marketing, and they've got, obviously with a lot of other, they are a digital marketing agency, social first agency. And they've got a partnership with like TikTok and things like that. So I love how 2024 they are. Like, if you know, okay? So especially in the demographic of Wales, like Wales is very behind in a lot of things. And I love the fact they are industry disruptors. So I met Katie and she was so bubbly. She was so easy to talk to. And they made me feel really comfortable. And I was like, okay, cool, I got this. I can socialize. And to be honest with you, the whole point of me going there was to listen to the 2023 wrapped up stats, so I can see whether I'm on trend or not, or if I'm missing anything within myself. And then the other reason is when I saw later after I got my ticket that Chelsea's going to be there, I was like, I would really love to meet her because it's been on my to-do list to meet Chelsea, basically. Anyway, I did. Really great agency stuff. It's nice to meet a brand that resonates what their online presence is as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's nice to see that personality in person as well. The worst thing is that you come to a brand and you really admire them and you meet them in person. It's kind of like, it's not a vibe, but no, they totally are a vibe. That was a really good night. We had pizza at the end of it, which is really cool. Really great statistics. Like I said, we'll talk about more of that. I'll do a separate video because I've got a whole iPhone notes to go through with that one. And then I spoke at the Creative Industry Clusters Hub with Ronda Tuff's creative marketing for creative businesses, and I was a bit nervous for sure because I soon realized that I didn't know the demographic of who I was talking to, and I had prepared I thought to myself, okay, if I've got half an hour, what would I do? What would I want to tell the people that were there? And actually, I actually had the most people listening to my talk, which I was really happy because I went on first. And usually if you go on first, it's always the worst. Usually, because you're always like setting yourself up for the headliner act in that way. And what I loved about this is that people were very interactive. It was a live Q&A. Everyone was very interactive, and had a moment of freak out just before the event, because I was thinking, oh my goodness, what if you have to adapt in that moment, if it was a demographic that I wasn't used to, because you creative businesses now, you've got like millennials to like Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, even baby boomers are in the mix, because post-pandemic everybody wants to have a better life. So you will get a lot of Gen X and baby boomers having a transition in their career because they want to pursue and have a better lifestyle. So it's different technology times as well. So I'm not going to lie, I freaked myself out, but I had no reason to freak out because I decided to use that half an hour as my strategic approach and give a bit about my background. So it was really cool. If you want to listen to the full presentation, you can find that on my channel called LORNA Media, and it's like literally 25-minute talk, 20-minute talk, because we had a live Q&A at the end, and it was so cool to have so many people be interactive. I think the camera SD card was full so cut off like the last 10 minutes or the last 5 minutes. I loved it, and I really, it really made me realize how many more events I want to speak at, and I really love presenting. Like, this is why I really love this podcast, is that after my speech, everybody was like, congratulated me, you're just really nice. And then what I really loved about it was a lot of people were like, oh, I didn't know you did that. And that's and I felt like I gained a lot of like industry respect in that moment. And like, unless you know what I'm talking about. I feel like this is like a whole nother topic of a podcast conversation, but just to give you a little bit of insight, I felt that I had been improving myself for a year. Like, you need to understand, I have gone through a lot in the last couple of years. So from 2022 end of May to until August 2023, I would say it was the roughest time for me. My mother passed away. I was building a van, living in it, and I was still doing business. Like, that's insane. Like, I was still building my business. I was still working in the industry. I was still making business contracts, and people didn't see the best version of me. Okay, so when I say I had to prove myself, because a lot of people didn't take me seriously, and it's kind of like, oh, well, who is this Tasha? Like, what is she doing? I don't rate her. She's not I don't rate her. Like, and I'm not going to lie, it did frustrate me in the time, because I was like, come on, everybody. Like, my mom passed away. Don't I get like a little bit of leniency, like here, like, just give me the benefit? But it's business. Business is business, yeah? So anyway, luckily for me, I've been through a lot in my life. So I kind of took it like whatever. It's just one of these things where don't talk about what you're going to do. Show them what you're going to do. So ever since I came back, because I worked away for the summer and I got re-inspired by this podcast, I then decided, right, now it's time to show up. And I did show up. And that's what I mean, like, to wrap up 2023 with going to the wrapped up event and, finishing the year with my podcast coming out, reaching my podcast statistics that I wanted to, being consistent, like really accelerating within my business, and then ending the year speaking at this amazing event. Like, if you know me, I've got a big passion for the creative industries. And again, that's another podcast episode that we're going to dive into this year for sure, is like my journey with creative entrepreneurship and why I love it so much and why I've got such a big passion for it. And anyway, you can hear about that with episode 1 of this podcast because of my experience within the music industry. Anyway, so it was such a like I did myself proud, you know, like I really felt like, okay, you did it. You survived through all of that. You survived through that trauma, and not only survived through that trauma, you accomplished so much more. After that event, I actually had a job opportunity come into my way where it was lecturing here at the University of South Wales for a BA in music and business, and I was teaching marketing. And that was, I wasn't looking for the job. Actually, about 4 people told me that would be really up my alley. And it was nice to know that like 4 people recommended me, one of them being my ex-course leader and the head of music and drama sent me the job. So it was nice to know that my brand reputation is there, you know, like if you've listened to a few of these episodes now, you would know I'm all about that brand reputation vibe. Okay, so through all of this, I'm not gonna lie, December was nuts. And I'm telling you because I was also doing Vlogmas, so I was recording a video every day and editing and doing all my work. It was hard. I ended the year very full on. That's what I tend to do though. It's all or nothing for me. And through this, everything that I did, I also managed to apply for Media Cymru's innovation pipeline. Now, a bit of context behind this as well. A few episodes prior, I can't remember which one is, maybe like episode 3, where I spoke about I applied for the research and development fund, which was for Media Cymru, and that was for me to be able to research and develop more into what I'm doing. And I didn't get it. Then this opportunity came up where they'll pay you. It's a 3-day workshop, which is they teach you about research and development in creative businesses and what does that look like. And they work with a research design company, like a research design consultancy, and you do research, you work with a research faculty. And it's 4 full days. And one of the days you go into the BBC and the other 3 days you spend at this design company, which is called PDR in Cardiff. And they'll pay you a supplementary bursary fee, basically, of £500. So I wanted to apply firstly, and I was hesitant because you don't understand. Well, you might understand, you might relate here, is funding can really knock your confidence. And especially I'm a very ambitious, driven individual, and I can't articulate my ideas very well because I have dyslexia. And not just that, I know everything, but I don't know the terminologies that goes in my grammar to be able to articulate it correctly, right? In my vocabulary, right? I need to understand the terms and the terminologies, basically. That's why I prefer talking. I prefer talking better than writing. Okay, I'm way better. Well, I went to this women in business, like leadership. It was like a women network opportunity in collab down in Cardiff Bay, and got there, and the event had been cancelled, and I didn't realize. But then I'll end up meeting with the founder, and she advised me I should apply for this innovation pipeline by Media Cymru. It's really helped her and Donna. I think Donna's her name. And yeah, she told me that I should apply because she told me her experience. Then when I heard about her experience, I was like, okay, let me apply. And it was like, I remember the day, it was midnight was the application deadline. I'm not lying when I say this. I started my application at 11 o'clock at night, and I know it was so bad, but because I'd done it before and I kept everything on a document, I kind of used exactly that to apply for it, basically. And then I forgot about it. I completely forgot about it. And then I dog sat around Christmas and New Year, and I got an email through. Hi, Tasha. We want to invite you to this innovation pipeline bursary. So basically, I got it. Oh my goodness. Like, wow. I was like, this is the best Christmas present ever. Like, I'm telling you now. Oh, like, it's an aha moment for me, because there's a video I actually want to link to this podcast to give you a bit more context. We will do maybe a reaction podcast video. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll do like a reaction video to it or something, and we'll talk through this video at some point. But in 2021, I spoke about, where is my people? I want to find my people. I want to help the creative industry. After the pandemic, I was like, let's get to it. And then in my master's, I was sitting in this, like, one of the rooms in the library, because I freaking love Treforest Library of USW. I'm such a nerd. And I was living my best uni life, speaking, like, I was laying out all the business models, and I was like, how do I just didn't know how to tackle this. I even contacted my Dr. Jackie Harris, Professor Jonathan Deacon. I was like, this is my vision, my plan, or whatever. And I've just been on this journey of finding resources, finding knowledge, finding the skill gap knowledge that I need in the resources, and who can I be with to help me take this little idea, this big idea that I've got, but I have no starting point, and kind of navigating it away. So I've been like kind of navigating this concept since 2021. It's like 2024 now, everyone. Like, can we just? And this is the book, by the way. This is the book. It's called Innovation and Entrepreneurship by John Besant and Joe Tidd. And this is the 3rd edition. And this book is excellent. I'm really thoroughly enjoying reading it. I've been wanting to read this book for a long time now. The last reprint was 2018, so it's still relevant. And also with transformation and everything and innovation that we've had, I definitely, with the business models canvas, the dates of that is 2015, so it's like a good, like, loads of papers that I found within that dates really coincide with that. And I remember picking that book up to do my 5 to 9 pitch, which was, I also need to do a video. I need to link this video where I pitched for my business idea with relaunching my business, which is Kif Media Hub, before LORNA Media. And it was, again, helping musicians with marketing and using the creator economy to help improve digital skills within the music industry. And it was just like a idea that I had. I soon realized that I needed to find out what type of entrepreneur I was, because clearly I have innovation. Like, I am the definition of innovation, for sure. But I also realized through this book, I am very much a social entrepreneur. And I'm going to read out these skills. Like, we're not going to go fully into this, but this is just to give you a little bit of context as to, like, my aha moment and what type of person I am, really. Characteristics. Ambitious. Social entrepreneurs tackle major social issues, poverty, healthcare, equality, with underlying desire, passion, even to make change. This includes those with a mixed element of non-profit and for-profit activity, which that's that's the goal, is for me to be able to develop Lorna Media, where I am a consultancy business, but I develop a non-profit on the side. And that's my social mission. Mission driven. Primary concern is generating social value rather than wealth, but wealth may be created alongside this. Social entrepreneurs are intensely focused and driven, and even relentless in their pursuit of social vision. Strategic. See and act upon what others miss. Opportunities to improve systems, create solutions, and invent new approaches and to create social value. Resourcefulness. They must be exceptionally skilled at mastering and mobilizing human and financial political resources. I'm really good at that. Results orientated. Social entrepreneurs are motivated by a desire to see a change to produce measurable returns. There was 3 characteristics of a social entrepreneur. The one that best describes me is missionaries, which is strong inner vision and a desire to change the world. I really love that. And the reason why I really love the fact that I've taken this opportunity to read a lot of this before I step into next week makes me really excited. I don't know what to expect from next week, but all I want to do is be like a sponge. I'm going to document it all. I will share my experience, obviously, with you all. And I'm just really grateful. Like, I am just so grateful. It makes me very emotional. And that's when I say, when it comes to social entrepreneurship, is I'm very good at connecting the dots of interacting a design plan where things are value-based. So if there's a little group over here that needs something, that lacks something, and then you've got another group over here that also needs something, I'm like, right, is there a way for these 2 groups to like help each other? And then like, how can they both interact from a value-based approach? I did this with my dissertation. I learned this theory with institutional responsibility of a postgraduate student of South Africa. That was like one of my papers. And what I really loved is that if you come from a value-based approach, which rather than a monetary approach, everybody wins. You know what I mean? Like, the money is a ripple effect after that, if that makes sense. So I can't talk about my idea yet, but I will eventually. Hopefully it will manifest this year into something awesome. But who knows? Maybe I'm just very ambitious, and at this stage, I just go with the flow of life. I go with my gut instinct, and that's where it takes me. And to be honest with you, I'm very driven, and I'm alone here. This is my type of fun. This is what I call fun, because I'm like, cool, there's a problem. Let me try to solve it. No matter how ambitious it is, I'm like, someone's going to do something, right? And yeah, so it's so exciting. Like, I'm super excited. I can't even wait for next week. That's how I've stayed relevant. My Christmas break and my New Year's break, the first week of New Year's, I landed up listening to a few podcasts. And this kind of goes into the next segment. Okay, so let's talk about New Year's plans, where we're going in business, what we're doing. Now, we have to kind of take a step back, and I'm going to share my experience, what I've done, and then maybe this can give you a self-reflective moment of what you could do for yourself, right? I've got a few YouTube channels. I am a content creator alongside all of this. It's starting to be problematic because I'm high in demand. So my hobbies are turning into like business ventures, but they're all time consuming. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. So I do plan with me's every month, and they are phenomenal. Like, oh my goodness, the best advice I can give you right now is, if you don't know where you're going, how you gonna get there? I was like dog sitting. So I took my books, of course. I did like my whole budget for the year. I did then my goals for the year. And before I had to get to that took 3 days. Okay, that took 3 days. And I didn't realize how overwhelmed I would feel about the concept of actually, what do I want? What do I want? I listened to a few podcasts. Obviously, Diary of the CEO, the best. And there was, I listened to a few monetary ones, okay? The one is the psychology behind money. Other one was the Ramit Sethi one, which is about how to create your rich life, because I started to watch him on Netflix first, and then I listened to the podcast. And what I love is this: what is a rich life? Like, what is your rich life? And this is such a good starting point, is like, what is your definition of having a rich life? And this kind of coincides as to my theory behind a few other videos I started to watch on YouTube, because I'm a YouTuber. I watch YouTube like obsessively. It's a great way for me to see what creators are doing and how it can influence me. So one of these YouTubers, I can't remember his name, I'm so sorry, but he's a minimalist YouTuber, and he was talking about how he had complete burnout. He grew his channel so big. He's a filmmaker, and he grew his channel so big that he had 10 people working for him, and he was not happy. And he was like, why am I doing this? And he then stripped it all back, and he came back to just being a solopreneur. And then I love this. And then also the comparison he did in his videos, the comparison between him and Alibaba is Ali employs a manager to take care of the management side of it, so Ali can focus on the creative side of it. So this is the two different case studies that they had. And I love this because it's been in the back of my mind of what is sustainable for that creative entrepreneur. That's kind of like what my business is built on, really. The Lorna Media's ethos is kind of like, what's going to help you sustain your definition of sustainability? Like, what's going to open up what's hindering your creative process as a creative business owner, right? Is it the management? Is it strategic management? Basically, that's my theory so far. And to see this be highlighted on YouTube by another YouTuber and looking at these different case studies, I was like, okay, cool. I'm on something here, clearly. Because obviously the creator economy gives us opportunity to really accelerate and open up our potential for new opportunities, but also at some point it does become a business, and it's like, how do we still have fun whilst treating this like a business, right? What is that balance? And that's kind of that reflective process of like, okay, finding that balancing within myself of coming back to what is your rich life? That's what I thought about. And when I just wrote exactly what I wanted to achieve this year, it soon made me realize that business is only a fraction of what I want to achieve. Like, of course, I want to be business goals. Okay, that's a complete different game. But in terms of lifestyle, I want to be very flexible. Like, I want to be able to travel and work on the road. I want to be able to be in different communities, because what really helps me, and this comes down to also different types of innovation, is being observant in different communities and learning from other communities to bring back to Wales, because I do see Wales as my home base for life. In terms of stability, like my roots, I should say. I feel like my help is needed in Wales, and it's a great research base to be on. There's lots of opportunities. It's great to be with like-minded people and be part of just amazing. Like, I've just had the best time in Wales. Like, why would I want to leave at this point? You know? So it's an investment, but long term, when I think about the lifestyle of how I want to live my life, there is a lot of flexibility. My exercise to you is really figure out, what does as an entrepreneur or digital marketer, what does your lifestyle look like that you want to create for the year of 2024? And write it down. Just write a list. Don't think, just write. Like, I wrote about 40 points. 40 points. I then ordered it from when I wanted to achieve these different points. I want to, like, you got your quarter 1, so January, February, March, quarter 2, April, May, June, July, August, September, and then October, November, December, right? When do you want to achieve it all? And then you can see, okay, in the first quarter, this is what I want to achieve. Then that's all you focus on for the now, right? Then it's easy to work with. So this is what we could do with ourselves with business. So something that I've been noticing a lot, okay, is, so this is like my little tip for you. We need to know where we're going. We need to know what the vision is. We need to know, and this comes again with when I was reading this book. I love it. I'm just going to nerd out the whole time on this podcast, by the way. Everything I learn, everything I experience, I'm going to just share with you all, because knowledge is power for sure. They said about how an entrepreneur is successful is within boundaries and strategy. Okay, strategy is the key word here. If there's no strategy, you are not successful. Like, if there's no intention behind what you're doing on an operational basis, on a daily basis of what you're doing in your business, you're wasting your own time. It's legit. Like, is it bringing you money, that action? Is it bringing you a lead? What is it doing? So I have, after the CICH, I'm definitely going to, I've got a lot of things to do. I'm not going to list them now. I'm just going to do them and then announce it when I've done it. But there's been a lot of food for thought. And I've been like, okay, great. This is why I like to be observant. I want to be more around, I love to be in the community. That's it. I want to be in the environment, the networks, the community, around people. I want to meet more people. I want to get more people on the podcast. That's my goal for my research. I'm a researcher by heart, for sure. What I'm noticing is that a lot of people with social media is just copy paste social media. Like, I have had about 4 people I know now have no plan. And I'm just like, you are wasting your time, please. Obviously, take a moment to think about your year, because ideally a year would be important. But if you're thinking about a communication strategy, think about the next 3 months. What do you want to achieve? Like, we're already halfway through, like, January. Till the end of January to plan out. Then you got February, and then you got March. And then in March again, you need to review for the next quarter. What are you doing? How are you managing your time? Think about your strategic approach, and listen to my episode from the Creative Industry Clusters Hub. It's a really great, it's honestly, if I say so myself, I simplified it very simple. Like, the strategic approach that I have. Like, are you spending your time on your network? Are you spending time in your community? Like, what are you building? Who are you creating that relationship with? That's what's important. And are you interacting with your community? How are you engaging with your community? For the next 3 months, you need to have a plan. Where are you now? Where do you want to go? And how are you going to get there? How are you going to get there is what implementations on a weekly basis do you have to do in order to achieve your goals. Simple as. My mission is to create more YouTube videos alongside this podcast, which is really cool. I had a great experience yesterday, actually, because yesterday morning I started my day with reading one chapter of the Diary of the CEO, and one of the chapter 2 is all about, in order to be a master, you need to teach what you know. And I got approached by one of the studio members to ask to have a chat with one of his interns about LinkedIn marketing. And it was great because actually I spent an hour with her, and it was a great practice run for me, because this is what I wanted to do into a YouTube video anyway, is about my strategic approach when it comes to LinkedIn marketing. And this is not about, this is your personal brand versus your business brand, how you want to communicate. Obviously there's strategy of how you get recognition, but I feel like I've really, really done well with my brand reputation on LinkedIn over the last 3 months, that I feel like I've got credit, I've got credit to share my experience. So it was really amazing that I got to break it down to her. I got to give her a content planner template. And I really enjoyed that exercise for myself because I got to implement what I read the morning, you know what I mean? Like, teach what you know. And it was like a practice run of what I want to do with the YouTube video. So it was amazing. To end this podcast, your homework is to develop a 3-month plan for your business in terms of like, where are you going and what are you going to do to get there, okay? And then for yourself is understanding what's your rich life and how does that look like for the next year. I just want to say thank you so much for listening. We have a few announcements to make before we say goodbye and depart each other, of course. So I realized that I have so much to share, okay? And I'm restarting my Tasha J. Cole YouTube channel. At the moment, I'm only managing shorts because my January is huge. My January is filled with amazingness. I'm actually going to Thailand at the end of this month, which is like, wow, I could take a holiday after 4 years. I'm going to go for a retreat and going to enjoy the sun, of course. And I want a solo backpack. That's just one of my dreams. I've also got the Creative Business Roadshow at the end of this month. So make sure if you're in Bari, come join us. Come ask me all the marketing things, podcasting things, whatever you want. I have this innovation pipeline next week. The week after, there's this Veganary Waterstones book exhibition thing that I'm going to. I can't remember. I'm going to a spa with my friends. I have this amazing, exciting project that I'm working on with Joe from Urban Stamp as well. So it is full on, to say the least. However, do go over to my Tasha J. Cole if you want to see a little bit more behind the scenes of the podcast, or I'm doing read with me sessions, live read with me sessions. These have been really good for productivity for me. I've been able to read about 4 chapters of this innovation book. And this is like intense reading, by the way. So it's really kept me accountable. So I loved it. So there's going to be a lot happening on Tasha J. Cole YouTube channel. The Lorna Experience podcast. So I'm going to, if you enjoy listening to like 4-hour episodes, we're still going to have the long format. However, there's going to be podcasting clips on the YouTube channel where if you only want to hear bite sizes, if you've only got like say 10 minutes or, like less than an hour, I'm going to be putting podcast clips onto the YouTube channel. And then there's going to be playlists. So if you're an entrepreneur, there will be like freelancing topics playlists, so you could just listen to the freelancing topics. There's going to be digital marketing topics, so you could just listen to the digital marketing topics. There's going to be we're going to dive into different types of businesses, different segments of businesses and business models I want to dive into on this podcast. There's a lot that's going to be changing on the YouTube channel just to help with growth, but also if you've got 10 minutes, you can listen to a podcast. If you've got 2 hours, you can listen to a podcast. Because I know with me doing all these podcasts over Christmas and New Year, not everybody's got the time. Like it took me 3 days to listen to one podcast that was 2 hours long. So I know time is limited. I'm going to be doing a monthly newsletter, so make sure that you subscribe to that. This will be in the show notes, of course. Yeah, that's kind of all the news that I have at the moment. Our next episode is with the lovely Jo from Urban Stamp, and I can't wait to share that podcast episode with you. She's so incredible, and I also look at her as an industry leader. Thank you so much for listening, and hope you have a wonderful 2024. It's going to be a great one. Just keep focusing on what does your heart desire, and keep pursuing that. Know that you being uniquely you is where it's at. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just follow what you want to do in your life. Follow your gut instinct. Keep building on your skill set, keep building your knowledge, keep building your network and resources, and See where these opportunities take you. If you get a no, it means it wasn't the right time and maybe it's not the right opportunity for you now. Don't look at it as a negative. Look at it as a positive of, it's okay, I've got something better coming. You know what I mean? So if you like this podcast episode, do comment down below what your 3-month plan is, or write a review, please, on whenever you're listening. And I look forward to seeing you all very, very soon again. Cool. Bye-bye.